Hey, what's going on, YouTube fam? Hope you're doing great today. It's Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Hope you're all appreciative of all the things we have and all the sacrifices those have made. Figured I would do a little update video on the ARRMA KRATON EXB V2, just to kind of show you where I'm at with it. So without any further ado, we'll get into it and make this video pretty quick. I don't see any need to drag her out as I knock stuff all over the place. So as you can see, there's a lot of the factory EXB stuff on there, which I plan on keeping unless something happens to it. These 7570 shock towers, keeping these 7570 braces, going to keep those stock braces. I don't see any need to change any of that stuff. It's good quality stuff. Things that have been upgraded, obviously you see we have the Hobbywing Max 6 Gen 2 ESC on there, freshly mounted, and we also have the Hobbywing 4990 can on there, along with the Hobbywing C4 fan shroud and or motor heatsink and fan. I've actually got a different fan coming for this. Still a 50 millimeter fan, just one with a little higher RPM. This is 5,000 RPM. I've got one for 10,000 RPM, just to help keep it cool. On that motor, we've got the 18-tooth pinion gear. It's just the ARRMA pinion gear. And then, speaking of motor, we have the M2C motor mount kit here. Perfect mesh system. Also does come with this to mesh the motor, and basically it locks down in these grooves like so, and you use this little end here and you can adjust the motor with the fine thread of the bolt and get you a nice good mesh. Sorry, got my fingers in the way there. Filming on my phone at the moment. The camera is charging. Along with that M2C stuff, we do have the M2C bearing carriers right here. Obviously on both sides, you can kind of see in there. And then we have the M2C top plate, where the chassis brace comes together there. Really like that stuff. I think it adds a good, good locking with 3 locking motor mount screws to lock down the motor in place and keep that good tight mesh. You can hear very minimal slappage. You don't want it too tight, but as close as you can get without them touching is the ideal to prevent too much friction and noise. So then also we got the M2C hardened rear drive shaft on there, and we've got the M2C hardened front shaft on there, ready to go. I've got the Perfect Pass servo right there. That servo will run, I'll put it up here on the screen momentarily. That's the Perfect Pass servo specs. Of course, with the Hobbywing, you can do 8.4 volts. So you'll get 778 inch-ounces of torque on 8.4. Even at 7.4, you've got plenty of torque. And if you only got the basic ESC, you could still use it at 583. I think 600 or above would be ideal for torque. But Perfect Pass makes a really good servo, and I enjoy their stuff. They are pricey. That was about $120 servo. Metal gear, metal case, good to go. So very happy with that. I did wire mine ESC with the 2 battery setup. I got it all cut here. Only because I generally will run 2 3S packs and just keep those packs in pairs. Just because I can get 2 3S packs for like $100. I will use, I don't know where my batteries went. But essentially what I run most of the time is these Z-Racing 7000s in series, and these are 100C packs. I don't go any less than 100C. 120. Sometimes they're a little more pricey, but 100C is where I like to be, around 100 to 120C. And like I said, those I got for like $104, where the equivalent 6S standalone battery is like 129, 139. So I just buy them like that, and I just make sure that those two stay in a pair. So if you're going to do that, just make sure that you run those two batteries together all the time. Only downside to that is if one battery does go bad, then obviously, well, then you have a single 3S for your 3S automobile. But nonetheless, I do have some just 6S batteries, and I made a little plug for this, just kind of like the stock ESC, and you can just run one 6S, but generally I just run them in pairs, cheaper, and if I damage one, it's cheaper to replace it. So what do I've got left to do with this bad boy here? All right, well, what I've got left to do is these RPM front and rear A-arms, which I did in the red because I think it looks better than the black arms. So we are going to be putting those on there to get that squared away. And along with those RPM A-arms, we also got the M2C diff outputs, so one for each corner. So we'll be running them here, and we'll be running it where that shaft is there. These are hardened steel, and they're thicker, so you're going to have more powers, less breakage. And I also got some M2C diff out drives, which are also hardened steel for each of the four corners, to prevent any extra wear due to the hardened shaft. We went ahead and put the diff cups in too. The one other thing we got is the stock wheelie bar here, kind of give you, or the wing mount there. I do know it's susceptible to breaking, and I couldn't really find anything that really tickled my fancy well. So I went to this gentleman right here, Garage Life RC. Really nice guy, very helpful. I thought I ordered this wing mount along with the wheelie bar, which I did not. So that was my bad. And I reached out to him and I was just like, hey, I didn't see a wheelie bar independently. I ordered this, and he was very nice, super responsive, and he offered to send me the wheelie bar portion for $10 instead of the $15, which I thought was really kind. He didn't have to do that because it was my erroneous error in ordering. I was just excited to find a wing mount and be able to put one on with the wheelie bar. And I really like the quality of this. I don't know if it's a PLA plastic or not, but it's fairly lightweight, but it's good and thick, and it's flexible, which I think having some flex in these arms is imperative. I don't think, I don't have a 3D printer yet, more on that. But good looking stuff, a harder plastic here in the center holding it together. And I don't know what the wheelie bar is made of. It's supposed to be here Wednesday. So anyways, if you need something like for your car, check out his website, Garage Life RC, and give him some love, because he really nice guy. And anybody that's willing to help the community like that, I will always promote and try to speak highly of. There's a lot of big companies out there, and I'm all for somebody coming up and doing better and trying to make something in the industry. So, provide a better life. So check them out. And I don't know all the products because I have this ARRMA KRATON, and that's the first car I've had in a long while. So I've been running these cars since the original T-Max 2.5R was out. If that gives you any idea, that was like 1995 or so. I don't even remember. I had the first T-Max that ever came out, and I remember going to my local hobby shop, and I worked my butt off to get it. And it was, I think at the time, like $500, $489 or $459. And I really enjoyed that car. So I've been in the hobby a long time. But I don't have a lot of cars because, when I was younger, I moved around a lot. And then just life. So life sometimes, and you gotta do what you gotta do. But now that and well, I'm 41, soon to be 42 here in June. I kind of buy this stuff and get to enjoy it now. But that's what I've got done to it so far. I can't think of anything else at the moment that I'm gonna do. I know at some point I'm gonna get a full set of ceramic bearings for it, and I'll probably update these and the turnbuckles and that. It's when they break, and I'm gonna put some hardened hinge pin, like the aluminum pieces down here. I'm gonna put aluminum down here when they break. I've got the hinge pin, hardened hinge pins from M2C, and I'll just order the aluminum pieces front and rear for there. But other than that, that's really all I plan on doing, except having fun, unless something breaks, which I hope not. But yeah, so this is the ARRMA KRATON V2 EXB. Really pleased with it. I actually, if you go back a couple months, you'll see I had a video on the V5. I bought it, and then I got a whole bunch of upgrades for it and never had a chance to do anything with it. And I was like, well, I'm going to get rid of it because I don't have the time. And I saw this, and it had a lot of the same stuff I had bought already done, and I could make a little time to do some of these things that I needed to do. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger, sold the other one, bought this one, and here we are, just about wrapped up. So that's all for this video. I will probably upgrade the radio system as far as the transmitter, but not immediately. So if you have any questions about this ARRMA KRATON V2 EXB V2, I mean, by all means, put them down in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer your questions. I generally get back to everybody within usually the same day, but sometimes it might be a couple of days depending on my work schedule. But yeah, just let me know if you got questions or if you're interested in one. Check out your local hobby shops. I always say support them first. If you can't do that, there's always online and the bigger conglomerates. But thank you for watching. Thanks for being the best part of this channel. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say below. We'll see you soon, guys. Thanks.